Good evening, Nixon families. I hope this video finds you well and gearing up for our upcoming winter break. I know here at school we've been celebrating for several days with our 12 days of dress up. Hopefully you've been able to catch those on our Facebook page. If you're not already following us on Facebook, check us out at CR Nixon. And we love to post different events that are happening, experiences that happen at school, the pictures from the 12 days of dress up, and so much more. So hopefully you'll follow us on Facebook if you're not there already. We have lots of events coming up the rest of the week here. Friday specifically, we have a lot of really cool, exciting things happening. We have our Learner of the Month assembly happening. We also have our PTA provided popcorn and movie to celebrate the upcoming winter break. And because we filled our PBIS ticket bucket as a school, we're also having our school-wide celebration of a candy cane party on Friday. So lots of great things happening at the end of the week that we're really looking forward to and hope that the learners are excited about as well. So the primary reason for me reaching out to you today is to give you a little bit more information and context about the new school designations that you may have heard about, either through media or from the letter that was sent home with families on Wednesday evening. ESSA, or the Every Student Succeeds Act, is the new version of No Child Left Behind, if that's familiar to families. Basically, the federal government is looking at specific cut scores to figure out which schools are in need of some support and assistance, some finances, some extra professional learning, and which schools are on the right track. There are three designations. The first designation is comprehensive. The bottom 5% of schools in the state of Iowa that scored the bottom 5% scores are comprehensive schools, which means they receive extra funding, extra supports from the state to improve their overall scores for ESSA. The next designation is targeted. Targeted schools basically have at least one subgroup, possibly more subgroups, who have those subgroups have scored in the bottom 5% or lower, and they get additional supports as well to help improve the scoring for those subgroups. And then the third designation is no designation. So if you read the letter or saw the newspaper article, you will know that Nixon is a no designation school, which is very exciting. All the hard work we've been putting in, all the hard work your learners have done, your children have done, has really made an impact here at Nixon. And the no designation status basically means that what we're doing is right on track and we can continue with business as usual. And then every year we look at the scores again, we decide and determine what next steps need to be made to continue to improve instruction and learning here at school. I want to give you a little bit of information and context specific to Nixon. And certainly if you have any questions, feel free to email our email address, our Nixon email address, which is nixon@cr.k12.ia.us. Any emails that come through there, we would try to get back to you quickly and give you a little more information about this if you're interested. So the first big piece that you need to know is that the score that each school is given is based off of several areas, and these areas combined create a score. So some of the areas that we are scored on are the percentage of students that took the Iowa assessments for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Thankfully, in reading and math, we had 100% of our students in 3rd, 4th, and 5th take those assessments, so we scored very well in that. They looked at proficiency on the reading and math assessments for Iowa assessment. They looked at the average school achievement, the average school growth, as well as the conditions for learning. And basically, conditions for learning is a survey that 5th graders took last spring to talk about their experiences at school, how they feel about being at school, the interpersonal relationships they have, their emotional safety, and things like that. So each of those areas combine into one overall score out of 100. The state average for the schools in Iowa was a 54.91. Nixon's score was a 55.07. So while we are hoping to get to 100, the state average is at a 54.91. So we did score above average on our overall proficiency, which is great, or performance, which is wonderful, which means that we are not a comprehensive school and we are not a targeted school as well, because our subgroups scored well as well. On the website, we also get information about how we scored compared to the state average in all of those areas. To give you one example, growth in reading, so how much growth a student made from the year prior to the year they were tested last year. So if I was a 4th grader, how much did I grow in reading from 3rd grade Iowa assessments to 4th grade Iowa assessments, so a year's growth. The state average for that was 50. and we scored at a 53.5, so above the average on that is an example. Now, when I dig into the information and look a little deeper, I can see there are some areas, for example, in math, where we are below the state average. And so with some of the changes that we've made to instruction this year, I am hoping that the next year when we look at this data is my intent that the data will look even more appealing because of the personalized learning work we've done in 2nd through 5th grade. So with students completing standards to mastery. So they're not just glazing over it and moving on. They're really mastering those skills before they move on. And also by allowing students to self-pace through those standards, I would anticipate that the scores for math will look significantly better as the years progress because we really are getting students to mastery and learners to mastery. So it's very exciting. Something even more exciting that I'm very, very proud of, and that I believe our staff is incredibly proud of as well, is the work that we've done around our free and reduced lunch population. The state average for the students who were tested and the scores they received for all those different areas was at a 54.91. For our low socioeconomic status, our free and reduced lunch population, we scored above the state average by a 0.37, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for a population that typically scores below the state average on testing and some different areas, I'm very, very proud that we scored above the average on that for a free and reduced lunch population. So we have done a lot of work around blended learning to engage learners in different ways, and I really do believe that through that blended learning, it has made a big impact on our learners who receive free and reduced lunch. So very, very proud of that. One more information I'd like to give you is the website where you can look at all this information yourself to kind of dig into it. And certainly as you're digging, if you come across anything you're wondering about, email us and we'll try to find the answer or help you get through that information as best we can. And if I don't know the answer, then I'll ask somebody who knows and get you that information, because there is a lot on there that you can learn about how we did here at Nixon to support your children at home, but then also hear changes and improvements we can make at school as well. So that website is https://www.ia, the letters IA, school performance, all one word, iaschoolperformance.gov. That website will get you to a main page. From there, you'll type in Cedar Rapids CSD, and from there, you'll get a list of all the schools in Cedar Rapids. So if you have children in other buildings, you can see how their schools did and compare that as well if you like. And once you find Nixon on the list, you click on Nixon and you can get all the data and information you would like, from the scores to how individual groups of students have scored out. And these are conversations that we'll be having in the building as well to see how we can continue to improve our instruction for learners and to improve the work that we're doing, even from the foundational skills of preschool and kindergarten and 1st grade, all the way through our 5th graders and our scholars. So I hope that this information is found its way to you, and I hope that you will feel free to reach out with any questions you might have. I'm very excited about this no designation status, and I am hopeful that we will have lots of conversations around this in the future and be able to celebrate together as well. Don't forget, December 21st, Friday, is our last day of school before the winter break. It is an early dismissal, so at 2:20 students will leave, and then teachers begin their break shortly thereafter. We are on break all the way until January 2. So on January 2, which is a Wednesday, our learners will rejoin us here at school at 8:50, and we will get our new semester kicked off. We also have conferences coming up in February, so keep an eye out for conference information coming up in February, as well as some mid-year testing that we'll be doing in January, and lots of events happening in the spring here at Nixon with our PTA, with our Title I school events, and other exciting events happening each month as well. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope that you have a wonderful holiday break. See you soon.